He is 5-0 in his first 2 regular season starts of the NFL season. 5-0. He has the highest rating among quarterbacks in the NFL. He has the highest QBR rating in the NFL. Who am I talking about? His name is Brock Purdy, and he's here for BVP. I'm talking MVP. Let's talk about it right here on the Wayne Breezie Show. I got Terror Dome ready to get it down. He's going to get down to the breakdown. I can feel it coming. You better stick around right here. Let's get to it, baby.
We so bright that we shining. All we know is the Niners. Red and gold at its finest. We so faithful to the Bay. We so bright that we shining. All we know is the Niners. Red and gold at its finest. We so faithful to the Bay. Yeah.
Woo! You better watch yourself. What's going on, faithfuls? The one and only Wayne Breezie, and we are back live on the Wayne Breezie Show. You see, I got Tara Dome back there chilling. He's got his mic on mute right now, so we're gonna let him take himself off of mute. He was back there doing some homework, cause that's what you do, right? Tara Dome, that's what you do. How you doing, family?
I love studying. I love taking copious notes.
Copious.
Yes, means in abundance, Wayne Breezy. And I got to shout out this weekend, young man.
Yes, sir.
For all y'all that just weren't in attendance, and I sure wish you could have been there. This young, talented, anointed man had my wife and I in his music videos, along with content creators like the great John Chapman. We had Ted there, Mose Knows, Miss Debbie, Jax Knox. We had the Travel Buds there. It was just electric from top to bottom. The weekend in San Francisco, California, my favorite city in the world, down to Santa Clara, down to San Jose. I feel like from San Jose to East LA. I'm a motorcycle rider, a highway desperado. I'm an outlaw, baby. We just had fun, man, and man, it was an experience just to be in the music video, just to get the direction of the great Wayne Breezie. The whole weekend was just lit. The kids used to say it was on fleek. We was on 1,000 shawty. For all y'all back in the north side, Richmond, y'all know what that one. Man, we just had a ball. Shout out to everybody that came in contact with you. Love, support. Hey, JP hella hard, man, gave praise report for what's going on with him and his family. We prayed the demons away.
Yeah. And
what remains is what we call the revenant. You're not gonna get there with everybody. But those that will be, and those that will be steady, remain, and be faithful, we will all get there together in the name of Jesus, man. Shout out to you. Let me hit my little applause on that, man. Shout out to Wayne.
I appreciate that.
I had to learn my lines. We so faithful to the bay. I'm glad for voiceovers, ladies and gentlemen, because I lost mine.
Amen. Listen, man, I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you and the wife coming on down. It was amazing. It was like not being from the Bay Area, but being received by the Bay Area was breathtaking. It was astonishing, right? Like we represent the team in red and gold, but for them to like show up, I think that was the part that like had me in all. Like I feel like being here where I'm from, I don't even get that type of love right here. Yes. But to go 3,000 miles to receive the type of love that the faithful, not just that they showed up, they also they showed out, right? They performed, they did everything. So the video shoot was a success, and in 2 to 3 weeks we'll see what it looks like. But man, I had a great time. So a round of applause to everybody that came out. You thanked everybody, Miss Debbie, Jax, Mose, they were in the building. John Chapman, Miss Mary Branch. I'm just trying to think of like everybody that definitely took it upon themselves to just be a leader, help out so that I can do what I needed to do. It was great. And shout out to everybody out there as well. All the subscribers on the channel, on both channels. We're definitely simulcasting. My man Boss is in the building. Got to give love to the Breezie crew. All right. Today's agenda got Brock up in the Centra. Go to room 112. Tell them Kyle sent you. I like the way you spelled sent you. Listen, people think I'm a Biggie fan, so if you put Biggie lyrics in the chat, I'm gonna give it to you like big, like all good, baby. What's going on, Peachy? You know what I mean? Baby. Listen, Oscar's in the building. We gonna talk about stats today. Matthew, what's going on, family? I love it, man. Oscar, I see you putting stats up already. Christy Marie is in the building. Don't Bother Me was also in attendance. He showed up, showed out. He even had a wardrobe change. He showed up in one outfit, switched it up. I'm like, that's how you do it. Like that's how you do it. Like
he's a professional.
Yes. Like, you know what I mean? Hitter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Miss Debbie was there before I even got there. She was at the video shoot before I showed up to the video shoot. But Miss Debbie had everything planned out with the goodies, the snacks. She was promoting. Miss Deb, we love you. It was a great time out there as well. Raphael 562, what's going on, man? Appreciate you. Listen, like and subscribe. My man Dion is here. He's saying good morning. Mike Eng, I wish you could have been there, but we will see you. I hope I'll see you in Jacksonville. Look, and I hope you're doing well as well out there, man, like as far as health and everything. Marty Marr, 49er Empire, what's going on? Look, man, Felicia, good morning to you. Troy, what's going on, baby? Hope you feeling well as too. Let's go 6-0 in Cleveland. They don't scare me. They don't scare any of us. Like I look, I know they got a great defense, but it's all good. We'll talk a little bit about that as well. VZ408 just definitely sending a shout out to all the members of the BB crew. Fernando, love you, fam. Love you. Ted Talks is in the building. He was definitely he had a dance cameo, and I made sure that the video director, Nobi, he's going to make sure that we get Ted's dance cameo.
Get the Ted dance.
Get the Ted dance.
Jam for me, yeah.
Yes. So we're going to have, it's going to be a blast when the video drops. All right, man, look. A lot of stuff has happened over the weekend, and if you guys are unfamiliar, make sure you go to residency.com, use the promo code SFBreezy, copy one of the residency caps, hats. They got Scullies, they got all the good stuff out there. Make sure you use that promo code. You'll save $5 on your purchase. Shout out to them. They are sponsoring the Wayne Breezy Show, so I just wanted to show them some love out there as well. Round of applause to everybody over at Residency. Talk.com. Guys, and make sure if you're watching on both channels, right? Don't forget, make sure you, for one, are subscribed to both channels. So if you're watching on my channel, go ahead and click on the link. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to Tower Dome's channel and vice versa. Like, we're spreading the wealth, spreading the love, all that good stuff out there. I see people watching from both. So make sure you guys go ahead and do that. And that's one of the reasons why we're doing this as well. And, like I said, it's all about spreading love. We are all 49 and faithful. Come ride with us, man. Come ride with us on this beautiful magic carpet ride. That's what it kind of feels like, though, Terra Dome, right? I feel like the Niners are off to a 5-0 start, but this 5-0 start seems a lot different than the 2019 5-0 start. Are you getting that like different vibe?
I myself and Miss Jax Knox kind of prognosticated and forecast this. Breezy, I know what I got out there, man. Some of y'all aren't poker players, but sometimes you draw what's called the straight nuts pause. And you know what you got in your hand, and you're seeing everything else getting dealt. and people are pushing chips in and stuff like that, and it's no way you're gonna beat this. But you slow roll it, you check raise, you just say check, and act like, oh man, y'all got it. Oh my, what am I gonna do? Oh, the money's getting so big. Oh, the pot's so big. But you know what you got under those cards. You know what you got. And Breezy, I was looking at looking at the roster when that top 100 came out back in the summer, thinking about all the things that Brock can do, thinking about the workout that seeing Debo in the gym and boxing. And I knew we had money set aside to get Bosa right. Fred Warner and Greenlaw were showing me these flashes last year. We just came up, for whatever reason, the football god said, not today on January 29th. We got the horses, man. We got the horses. We got a confident play caller in Kyle Shanahan. He trusts our captain, our quarterback. He manipulates with his eyes. He throws pocket precision. He's prepared. He is appointed. He is anointed. And I felt it. I felt it coming, man. I felt it coming.
Look, it's the team just seems to be, they're firing on all cylinders. Players are individually doing the things that they need to do. You know how players set the individual goals, but they're not allowing their individual goals to triumph the team goal.
Yes.
And I think that, to me, is the biggest difference. You look at both teams. Like in 2019, you had some young phenoms coming in. Nick Bosa's rookie year. You had a stout defense. The last time we saw DeForest Buckner in uniform, defense was good. But for some reason, in the 2023 team, the defense, in my opinion, Terradome, they just seem a lot more seasoned because those younger players are now a little bit older. Think about the three different schemes that they've had to work under. They had the Robert Saleh, they go to DeMeco Ryans, and now they're getting the coverage scheme with Steve Wilkes, right? Mm-hmm. And so they're growing and learning at the same time and adding their seasoning to the pot. And so defensively, yes, they're making strides to be the best defense in the world, which some may argue they are number one. And then offensively, we're going to talk about this guy named Brock Purdy and why the offense is firing on all cylinders. They've been building pillars since 2017. People don't want to talk about it, but who's the pillar of 2017? George Kittle, right?
Yep.
So you can't, that's the pillar, right? And I'm just going to stick to the offensive side. And then they kept adding pieces. 2019, you get Deebo Samuel, pillar, right? Mm-hmm. They paid him. He was the dynamic weapon at that time. No one knew how to stop him. They still can't. He still can be explosive. He's a pillar because they paid him, right? If they didn't think he was a pillar, they wouldn't have gave him that 3-year deal, okay? And then they draft, okay? They draft Brandon Ayuk in the first round in 2020, all right? And then you get another pillar that potentially will be on this team, that should be on this team, because now the Niners, who haven't drafted a true number one wide receiver probably since Terrell Owens, who ended up becoming a number, you're getting a true number one target weapon in the NFL, possibly or arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL, right? Remember, just sticking to the offense. I want to focus on how the offense is being built. You trade for Trent Williams, pillar. You trade for Christian McCaffrey, pillar. You sign a fullback in the offseason a little bit, like 2018, 2017. You get Kyle Juszczyk, another pillar. These are finally starting to come together because now you have a quarterback that can run Kyle Shanahan's system while changing the system at the same daggone time. And that, to me, Brock Purdy was the key.
The linchpin.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's the linchpin. We could win games, and I ain't gonna bash Jimmy G today. I've done it enough in my lifetime. But
Turn your mic up a little bit if you can. If go to 130. I want to
I
make
go
sure
up to
you're
130,
yeah.
and he was very serviceable at what he did and how he did it. And how's that sounding?
Perfect.
He was very serviceable at what he did and how he did it, but there was a few elements missing from Jimmy G's game, and it was, we'll call it levels of toughness, levels of spiritual leadership, levels of playmaking that he just didn't possess. Being able to get to the next thing sometimes. And he just would miss every now and again in crucial and pivotal moments. But, man, when number 13 comes, I saw it so different. I saw him able to manipulate. And Kyle Shanahan's system is great, but when you go back and look at the tape, man, as a defender all my life, you look where that quarterback is looking. You drift to where that quarterback is going because that's what you're always taught. And this kid was looking and then had the presence to go back the other way. He would look, you open, and then go back the other way with it. Man, and staring down blitzes, he was tough. You have to be tough in the National Football League. It means not for long and not for losers. You got to be tough, man. And when he was staring down big, menacing defensive linemen like a Wilkins, like a Ingram, after they just cracked your starting quarterback's foot, man, he stared that thing down like, I'm playing in the Big 12, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't shaking this. You ain't shaking this. And he gives honor and glory to God every chance he gets, man. I was sold from a long time ago. I said, that's the one you need. That's him.
Yeah, I mean, you clearly would point out the things that made Brock, kind of like the it. I think I've always said that Brock had the it factor. I was always concerned. I was more concerned about Brock's health than anything when it came to Brock Purdy. It was, will he be able to? Will he be able to? That was my thing. Like, will he be able to? Because if not, you got somebody that you feel like you can rock with. But that ship has sailed. And I still feel like if anything was to happen to Brock Purdy, I feel comfortable enough to say that, who we have in the building in the quarterback's room will still be suffice. Now, they won't bring the same intangibles as Brock Purdy because whatever Brock Purdy does on the football field can't be taught. That's an innate thing. You're birthed with it. Like it's in you. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah. I'm not comparing Sam Darnold to Brock Purdy. I just feel like the 49ers can find a way to win with Sam Darnold as the quarterback because then they'll go off of whatever his intangibles are and what he does able to go out there to make a play. But focusing on Brock Purdy, which we'll talk about in a little bit, like the kid is he's unleashing or he's unlocking the ability of all the star-studded players the 49ers have. I think that is the key. Like, he's unlocking the abilities of all those players. We knew what Debo could do. We knew what George Kittle could do. We knew what Brandon Ayuk could do. But what can they do all at the same dang time? Like how is he unlocking? It's because he's not focusing on one guy. He's looking at the defense. He's saying, all right, you're trying to take that away? No problem. I got this right here. Oh, you want to take away the run game? No problem. I'll just throw it quick. Oh, you want to blitz me 85% of the time? No problem. CMC, get ready for the screen. It's going to be there, baby. And how about the butter soft throws from Brock Purdy that we're seeing? How about the touchdown to Kyle Juszczyk? They ran it twice in the same game. One was for a touchdown. One was for a first down. Same play. But it was just
why banana?
It was butter soft.
Yep.
Like we haven't seen a butter soft throw. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That
That Spider 2 wide banana is always open. I scream, and if my wife is in the chat, she'll let you know. Spider 2 wide banana is always open, y'all. You got a fullback who used to play tight end, and you got two good catching tight ends. Spider 2 wide banana is always open. It's always. It's like Waffle House and 7-Eleven. It's always open. It's there for you.
always
5 yards. Hey, Spider 2 wide banana or 57 bootleg drag option pass. It's there. It's there. If you want to take it, it's there. They're giving it to you. And we have seen quarterbacks who, maybe Kyle was a little too hesitant in their abilities, or for whatever reason.
It was trust. It was trust. You don't have to say it's just trust.
Yeah.
TRUST.
Yeah.
It's just trust. It was just trust.
I was trying to clean it up.
No, because here it is. I'll break down the quarterbacks recently for Kyle Shanahan. You ready? Let's start with Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo, I felt like with Kyle Shanahan, and he hasn't come out and said this, but I just feel like from his actions, he didn't trust Jimmy Garoppolo for two reasons. One, he was going to go out there and get hurt, and two, he was going to turn the ball over. Those two reasons. That right there. Now, what Jimmy did for the Niners, good. What he couldn't do was why Kyle Shanahan didn't trust him. It be them butter soft throws I just mentioned from Brock Purdy. It be throwing hospital balls to your tight end where he got to reach up, stretch up, show all the ab work, and then take a high ankle sprain or a crack to the rib. It's those type of things. Not a shot at Jimmy, just telling you why I think the trust wasn't there. Let's go to Trey Lance. Trey Lance was the most raw form of a quarterback. Kyle drafted him thinking he was going to have time to mold it. Well, what happened? The clock started to speed up. He's like, oh man, this kid can have the potential of being what I see him being. I just don't have the time. Trent Williams getting older. These players going contracts. They're going to be moving on. Yeah. We need a championship, and the faithful is pissed off. We've been too close too many times. Time sped up is why Trey Lance isn't here. It's not just the fact that he wasn't great. It's the fact that Kyle Shanahan didn't have time. Part of that is because he drafted another quarterback and Brock Purdy, which sped up the clock as well. What do I mean by that? Simple. Brock Purdy was able to go out there and do those intangible things that Kyle didn't have drawn up in the playbook. So he's like, damn, this kid is coming in here winning. Brock Purdy last season came in, went 5-0.
Yep.
Brock Purdy this season, 5-0. That's 10-0. 5 plus 5 is 10. Mm-hmm. You and I would be some dumb Mickey Fickies if we went away from that. It didn't make any sense.
It ain't any sense. And throw those two playoff wins in there too, where he put up 41 on one.
That's 12-0. So he's 12-0 in games that he started and finished. Think about it.
He's like LeVar Ball. Never lost.
Never lost. Never lost. And you know what? Bishop? We're not talking like we're trying to jinx this quarterback and this team to lose a game. That's not the angle. What I'm trying to say is simply, if I'm watching this kid progress week in and week out.
Yeah.
I don't know where he or if he will ever digress unless age kicks in. But I've watched 5 different defenses attack him 5 different ways.
Yeah.
And he still put up 30 points.
He's got answers. I tweeted something earlier, man. Michael Irvin really eloquently, the Hall of Famer.
Yes, you
really eloquently put things together that I've been seeing, and I quoted Matthew 16, which is one of my favorite parts in the Bible, when Jesus realizes that Simon gets it. And he says, blessed are those, Simon Barjona, flesh and blood didn't reveal that to you, but my Father that is in heaven. Upon this, Brock, I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. It just typifies everything. It's the basis and the foundation of what we know as the church today. And my apostles gotten on me sometimes because things get revealed to me sometimes, and I get impatient and mad that people aren't moving the way I tell them to, which served you good in the army. But hey, these ain't your soldiers, elder. Give them time to get there. It's and I reference it to spiritual popcorn. The revelation gets showed to you, and you put it in that microwave popcorn. Sometimes that first kernel pops in 30 seconds, but it's going to take a lot of time, 2 minutes and 10 seconds for that kernel to pop, every one of them. And, that first kernel got to just sit and wait after he done pop, like, sure wish I could get this. But it's a patience, and what I know about football, man, it's just he just got it. He just do. It's a Drew Brees, it's a Tom Brady. It might not look like you wanted it to look because of their draft choice, but they come in and they just got it. They just got it.
Yeah. I don't even think it's a Tom Brady or it's a Drew Brees. Those guys have slower starts. Peyton Manning, slower start. And I'm not saying Brock is better than any of them, but he's off to a better start than all of them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Every Hall of Famer you can name.
No one's talking about that, though, huh?
Yeah, they leave that part out. And when I bring it up, they say, Ben Roethlisberger had a really good start, too.
He did.
And Dak Prescott had a really good start, and they came crashing back to her. I said, they were top picks.
Yeah, and I don't remember Ben coming crashing down to earth. Now, Dak, yes. Ben, old age, yes. But Ben remained a top quarterback in the league since his rookie season. I don't know whoever said that needs to be smacked. And then Dak, okay, yeah, he definitely digressed a lot of it. He was coming in on the injured Tony Romo. He was high. He was playing on a high. And I'm not trying to put Brock Purdy on a pedestal yet, but what signs has he shown of falling backwards, like digressing? I haven't seen it yet. I have to see it. I was on the Steph, John, and Wayne show earlier, and I said the only wrinkle that I saw in Brock Purdy's game on Sunday night was the fact that he couldn't see over his offensive line. And I said that is something that he can't fix because his measurables, his height, for those that don't understand what's a measurable, won't allow him to. So what did he do? He adjusted.
Just improvise and overcome. Adapt, improvise, and overcome. Heartbreak Ridge, Marines. This is what you do. It ain't gonna go perfect every time. You ain't gonna have a clean pocket and 4 seconds to throw the ball. You adapt, you improvise, you overcome, and he's ready to do that. He's got answers for the problems. He's got answers to the tests. We call them koofies in college. You get the koofy, man. This is what Mr. Hicks gave out last year, and here are all the answers. Oh, well, shoot, man, we're going to kill it. We're going to get it. And then when they come out there and give the same damn test he gave last year, we cut the food. We like, oh, we got this one. We got this in the bag. He's got answers for the test. And that's my beautiful wife, D.
Hey, Miss D.
What's up? She is Mrs. Wright.
Mrs. Wright.
Yes.
I love that.
I married her and changed her to a terror.
Terror.
Now she scares everybody.
I mean, y'all came in the video shoot like, y'all came in looking like the 49ers. I was like, oh, we got the dogs are in the building.
Man, it was so great, man. I love that shit. And I love the mural you chose as well, man. That Debo, that was fire. Did you have the artist there?
So no. So like that was done over the past, I think over the summer. And I fell in love with it right then and there. And I was like, like if I shoot, when I was thinking of where to shoot the video, I was like, it has to be, I don't know anything about California. I don't know where we going when we get there. I just know we're not in LA. So I just automatically feel safe. I didn't realize where we were. It was brought up to me like, listen, man, did you know you have to wear all red in this area? I was like, I sure didn't, but I'm glad we are.
I'm glad we did.
We did. And I'm glad that we are 49er faithful. So that mural, the artist of that mural, they put that together very well. And I can't remember who it was. It might have been Mose. He was saying like the way the sun beamed on the picture of Debo with the visor, it looked like the reflection was there, like it was the real. So whatever paint they used was on point. Listen, man, let's get down to some quick 49ers news. There's not much going on. A couple of accolades I want to get out, and then we're gonna kind of touch the Browns game just a little bit, and then we're gonna talk about Brock Purdy MVP. Because that's where he is right now. I don't see any other quarterback there's no other quarterback 5-0. I'll leave it at that. Okay, here we go. Let's go 49ers, other than Jalen Hurts, but I just don't feel like Jalen Hurts is playing MVP football as of right now. 49ers Fred Warner wins Defensive Player of the Week. So shout out to Fred Warner.
He was all over the place. Shout out Big Fred, Chairman Fred.
Talk about it, though. Like, you said he was all over the place. This dude had a sack, he had a forced fumble, and he had a freaking interception. I like listen, my favorite type of interceptions, bro, are the tip drills. And I'm not talking Nelly. I'm talking tip drill football. You know why, though? You want to know why those are my favorite interceptions? Can you guess?
Because we're getting hawks around the ball.
Hawks. Not Seahawks, guys. Hawks.
Dogs.
Yeah.
Lawrence Taylor once said, let's just go out there like a bunch of crazed dogs. And this is my beautiful mother, Margaret Tara. Hey, Mom.
Hey, Mrs. Tara.
Hey, baby.
I love it. She's
a Cowboy fan. But she said, if anybody going to beat us, I'm glad it was you.
That's what my mom said.
Yeah.
What is wrong with our moms? No, should.
They just old school.
They are old school. My mom said she was rooting for my team. How crazy was that?
Too. Yeah. She closet did. She sent me a text before the game, man, and it made my allergies act up a little bit. So I ain't read the whole thing. I was like, I need to be 100 on this.
This funny.
Mom, don't come with that. Don't come with that today. And man, she's just the salt of the earth, man. Everybody know Miss Margaret. She done taught kids and grown kids come up. Miss Margaret with that hair. We saw later at the airport. Dia tell you, Mom. She got off that airport. She had on that cool tracksuit and her hair was all together and had that bag behind her like she just came in from Vegas. I said, "What? Did Mom go on take a trip?" And Dee said, "She looked just like your mama. She do." And I stopped her. I said, "You look so much like my mother coming in there. Where did you come from?" She said, "Vegas."
That's what moms do. Yeah. I ain't mad at him as long as he send me something. But listen, it's funny because I text my mom SORRY.
Oh.
And she said, "It's okay, son. I was rooting for your team."
Oh, see?
That touched me, man. Because my mom is a diehard Cowboys fan. But she always supported me being a 49ers fan. It was like the mom support over her support for her team triumphed everything.
Yeah, man.
So that was beautiful. you know, and
my
I
mom
wasn't trying to
does
rub
the
it
same
in. I really meant sorry because it was a butt whooping. Like it wasn't even a good game.
Oh yeah, it was. I tell you what was good, Breezy.
Yeah.
Sugar Hill Gang at halftime. Breezy, I lost my mind when they said hotel, motel, holiday inn.
Inn.
Say, if your girl
Start acting up, and then you bring her. And that's why you got to be friends with. I'm just playing, but not seriously. Like they definitely had a good time. Matter of fact, when the concert started, I was set to go live at halftime, and then I was like, I'm not missing Sugar Hill.
I'm not
Gang.
missing Sugar Hill.
Yeah,
Gang.
I'll
I
say
was
this for
wondering, did you go live?
Hell no, I ain't
gonna
go
do it
live.
too, you know,
I sure
said,
enough didn't. I was
okay,
hip hop, hippie to the hip. Like, and the people that were around me were so into it because they remember it. And then you saw the young people getting into the
know
groove.
The lyrics.
Yeah.
And that astounded me. And when Apache jump on it, man.
Yes, sir.
It's nothing better than a whole bunch of Cowboy fans there and you doing Apache jump on it.
Jump on it.
And they're getting jumped on, literally.
All I can think about is Will Smith. So if you want to know where I first heard Apache, it was the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That's where I first heard it. I'm telling you that Listen, so
it hit me that way too.
Speaking of hits, you talk about Fred Warner, 8 tackles in this game. He was all over the field. Didn't have a missed tackle for the first time all season. And definitely like just deserved the defensive player of the week. I mean, he had the hat trick on defense. And I asked you earlier about, why do I love the tip interceptions, and you talked about because the Hawks were on it. And the one thing about Hawks, the one thing that they have, and why we call them Hawks, is because they're just always alert, right? And the word for me is awareness, right? They're looking to see what's going to drop, because the one thing a Hawk can do is dip down quickly, pick up that whatever it's about to eat, and bring it right back up before anybody else catches it. And so when I look at the 49ers defense, we've had a few tipped drill passes, and so it's not easy to catch those, right? Shout out to Diamador Lenore on the coverage. I mean, it was tight. It was tight. Airtight, right? Airtight.
Like when who's my lyric? He said, everyone on my team is a shooter. Tight like a womb, no room for intruders. That's on that special delivery there. I think that's G-Dep.
G-Dep, special delivery. Clean, special.
Oh, man. That's my jam, too. But the two things I wanted to capture real quick, man. So far in this season, there are two plays that really exemplify and typify the San Francisco 49ers and their unselfishness. The downfield blocking of our receivers in Pittsburgh when CMC breaks that long one. You remember when Ayuk just actually just iced the dude, and I think it was Ray McLeod running downfield. He
was the cleanup
speed, block, cleaning all the way up, all the way down. And that fumble that Fred Warner got on the sideline, it's the south side of the stadium, is around at 20. Man, there are 8 hats in that frame when I go back and look at it. Coming up, man, we had a coach named Bill Jarvis, crazy, not to be racial, crazy white dude. He used to headbutt people with their helmet on. But we would have to run sprints if he didn't see 8 hats in that frame. And it was utter defense. It was the true moxie, the true makeup, the true DNA of a defender to have 8 hats in there. When Fred punches it out, it goes off of, I think it's Lenore. The football gods make it bounce right around the sideline, and it's opportunity. It's an 8-to-1 ratio that we're gonna come away with that fumble, present a short field, give it back to the offense, and we're off to the races. It started with Fred Warner. I could see him in the beginning of the game when they were walking out for the coin toss. He was leading the leaders. He was a little ahead of them. Man, Fred was dialed up. I check his podcast out, and Fred said, man, I was just feeling it. Sometimes you get in the zone. I knew he was in the zone, and he said, I ain't realized this or that. I thought it was. He said stuff just started moving slower for him. Everybody else was moving slow, and it felt like he was on the conveyor belt at the airport, man.
Mm-hmm.
He was just registering in every category. Fumble, a tackle for loss, an interception, led the team in tackles. That's when you just in the zone, man. You just gone. You become football. That's ain't no other way to describe it. Michael Jordan used to say the basket just looked like a big old barrel, and Fred was just coming with it, man. Love him.
A lot of people in the offseason wonder why our linebackers take the boxing courses and do the boxing drills, and they're training how to fight with boxers and UFC. And I mean, you can see like our linebackers are different, right? Like Fred Warner would be to me more of the boxer, and Drake Greenlaw more of the UFC fighter / wrestler. But you can tell like that they're training, they're getting those hands strong, they're getting those punches, they're working on the punches, because forcing fumbles, which we haven't seen. The Niners didn't have one forced fumble all season long. The Niners have a total of 9 turnovers, 8 interceptions, 1 forced fumble, and the recovery. The Niners are the top 2, excuse me, I'm going to say top 10. They're in the top 10, but they're top 2 in turnovers, with 8 of them being interceptions. We knew we were going to get the interceptions. I think we knew the interceptions were coming. They already had 20 last year, okay? And then on top of that, you were bringing in Steve Wilkes, but now we're adding another wrinkle to the game. Look for more forced fumbles, and especially here, and people want to know what's going on, like how are we gonna beat Cleveland, all this type of stuff. Did you guys know that Cleveland is at the bottom of the league in turning the ball over and giveaways? 10 giveaways. We get 9 takeaways, they have 10 giveaways. Right there, that turnover battle's in the 49er favor. So this is going to be interesting to watch. They have 5 interceptions, 5 fumbles. So this is going to be a really good matchup to look forward to. We're going to break it down. We're going to touch on it just a little bit. I got preview shows going on, but I definitely want to get your take on that. But again, shout out to Fred Warner for winning that accolade. I think that's something really special and something that something he deserves in his All-Pro season. All right. So again, let's talk about this quick injury report. Aaron Banks, shoulder strain, listed day-to-day. Elijah Mitchell with the knee injury, also listed day-to-day. Will these 2 players play this week? Would you play them this week, and will they play this week? What are your thoughts on that?
Elijah, man. Elijah, I love the name. Very anointed, created and did 8 miracles in the Bible. Elisha does 16. But, bro, you can't make the club in the tub. Every time I look, he hurt. Every time. I mean, I think he should get a daggone subscription or an endorsement for Aflac. He's just taking money. He is. Glory to God. He just taking that money. He taking that money. And
it's not much.
It's a lot more than the average American making in $50,000 a year. Elisha, let's go ahead and, let's part ways and be friends, man. You win a free subscription to Rice Aroni for a year or something like that. As far as Banks, my man Eric Crocker had a lady named, I want you to get her on the show, man, Coach Desi, who's a PA. She really went in depth about his injury, and she said it could have been a lot worse, but the way he's injured, the top of his bicep versus down there into, what she called a Popeye arm. Mm-hmm. She said older people get it trying to lift weights and stuff like that after you get 44 to 60.
Yeah, I probably have that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that Popeye. But I think he's going to be fine, and it just gets to a pain threshold. And luckily, it's a muscle, very important, but it's soft tissue. You might give a little love juice to it before a game or whatever. I think he's going to be able to go. Feliciano would come in for him, I think. Mm-hmm. So I think we would be kind of all right there, but we got a dog coming out there
On that
this
left,
week.
on that right side, yeah.
Miles Garrett. So let's I want our all hands on deck. I want to make sure we got our investment protected and our holes that are open, pause, for CMC, and or give the ball to Jordan Mason.
Yeah.
Phil Jackson used to say in the 90s, just give the ball to Jordan.
Yeah, and when you're looking at this game and where they're strong, I mean, obviously they're strong on the edge. They got 2 to 3 edge rushers that can ring a bell. Starting with Myles Garrett, one of the best edge rushers in the game, arguably top 3 easily. Him, Bosa, Watt. I feel like those are the guys that everybody wants on their squads, right? So you're looking at this game, you're saying, okay, this could be a possible, tough, because typically he lines up on the Trent Williams side. Now, I don't know if the Cleveland Browns defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz is smart enough to say, hey, let me put him on Colt McKivit's side, but we'll see. Like we'll see, right? And so I would like Aaron Banks out there, but it's something about Trent Williams that makes anybody better that plays on that left side. I mean, look, I watched, you mentioned his name, John Feliciano, had the top best graded PFF game in 33 snaps. His grade was in the 80s in pass pro, and in the 70s in run blocking. And so he had a high overall grade. He had a higher grade actually than Trent. I mean, Trent ended up getting that penalty, which, right?
Once you get that penalty, man.
Oh, it's a wrap for his grade.
It's like it messes up.
It's supposed to be -2 points on that one snap. So how did them -2 points make his grade that bad? He didn't give up 0 pressures either. So that's funny, right? But listen, I hope Aaron Banks is good to go. It's funny you mentioned, because that's why it's considered a shoulder strain opposed to that bicep injury that was first made the announcement, because it didn't happen lower in the arm. So I'm sure the pain is shooting more up, the upper bicep, more into his shoulder than it is into the actual bicep and the arm, which he probably wouldn't be able to lift. It would have to be in a sling, all that good stuff. So if he's out there practicing, he's going to probably play. If he can't tolerate the pain, like you said, then you have an answer in Feliciano that can come in. As far as Elijah Mitchell, I still root for this kid, man. I get it. He can't stay healthy for some apparent reason, but man, if the knee is really that bad, put him on the IR.
Just
you got
heal
spots
up and come back. Heal up and come back. And I get it, because it's such a war of attrition with these positions at the running back. You don't want to take any time off, because they're looking to replace you. They are, except for CMC. You are good, CMC. You're locked in, but they'll play the shell game with some running backs in a minute. So I understand that on a personal level for him, but just looking at the investment of San Francisco 49ers, man, you can't make the club in the tub. You can't. It's eating up a roster spot. It's eating up the belief that we got you as a backup for a CMC to preserve his longevity and everything. And I really, from a standpoint of just pure running back, and you as an aficionado as running back, man, that daggone Jordan Mason is real as they come, man. He falls forward, he's slow to it, quick through it. You talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, and the one thing I'm learning is Bobby Turner, with his plethora of running backs, they're all different. I'm learning that, right? I mean, but they always have been. I don't think we've paid that much attention to it, but they've always been different, right? If you go back to the Tevin Colemans and those type of different, right? And so when you're looking at the running backs, I mean, and then we had Raheem Mostert and the Matt Breida, even though they both were fast, they were still different. And so when you look at this, you're looking at a dual threat in CMC. You're looking at a medium type of a dual threat in Elijah Mitchell, but he's been battling with knees for the past 2 seasons. So we'll see what happens with him. And now you got Jordan Mason, who clearly is making his take on being the running back 2 option as an undrafted free agent. And if he continues to put up the type of production that he's putting out when he gets the ball, I mean, dude's averaging like 6-7 yards a carry.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, like 6 to 7 yards a carry. I mean, like, how do you not get him in the game? Led the team in rushing against the Dallas Cowboys. But at that big
score too,
he had the 26-yard touchdown run, just a burst, and that wasn't even up the middle. Like that was a outside zone,
a little off tackle, yeah,
a little outside zone, not too outside to where he's getting outside, but he had the speed, and it was just, you were just like, okay. So Kyle's not skipping a beat here without Christian McCaffrey. But the setup from Christian McCaffrey, it's like you set up with Christian. If Christian is finishing, cool. If he's getting banged up, beat up, cool. I could put in a guy like Jordan Mason and continue the run game, because that's one of the reasons why I feel like, we're not giving the offensive line enough credit. And that's one of the reasons why I feel like Brock Purdy is able to be as successful as he is, because the Niners are able to run the ball for over 100 plus 150 yards per game. So the play action from Brock Purdy is ridiculous. And we'll get into some of his stats in a minute, but ridiculous, right? So let's go to this week 5 matchup, right? Right now, I believe the Niners are favored by 6 points. Wow. So +6 versus the Browns on the road. Some updates on the Browns. I know a lot of people were asking me what's going on. Listen, Deshaun Watson is not practicing today. Today is Wednesday. I'm going off on the limb saying he won't play this Sunday. Stefanski did make mention of P.J. Walker. He's going to be working as the starting quarterback as of right now. So
they're not going to use the kid.
No, DTR, I believe, will be the emergency. But they're looking to go with P.J. Walker. This is per Mary Kay Cabot on X. She says that Kevin Stefanski announces quarterback P.J. Walker will work as the Browns' backup this week, with Deshaun Watson still sidelined with his shoulder injury. Walker would start versus the 5-0 if Deshaun Watson cannot go. If I'm Deshaun Watson, and I'm not saying this from an advantage point. Yeah, like a homer, right? I wouldn't play. I would make the best business decision of my life, because it's not. Listen, he's not running like he did years ago. No. Okay, if you want a running quarterback in there, you better play DTR. All right, but he's not doing that. He's standing in the pocket for a long time. He's holding on to the ball for a long time. And if he's holding on to the ball for a long time, my God, bet you by golly, wow, we can get 4 sacks from Nick Bosa. I'm just saying.
Man, he's going to come with it.
And
in Ohio.
And, right. I hate Ohio State. And.
Sorry.
You dead wrong. Dead wrong.
I just gave reference because Nick Bosa is an Ohio State guy.
That's what I said. I put that I said it under my breath so you can hear it loud. Then, on top of that, you got the speed from Randy Gregory, who's going to be he's going to be salivating at the mouth, literally, to show the world that he is still the guy. Like, he's still a guy, like, in the league that you got to, Oh. If I'm Deshaun Watson, my shoulder still hurts, coach.
Yeah. You gonna get that red flu.
Give me the red flu, the bird flu, whatever color flu you need. I'm just not gonna jump up into this game, man. Listen, For Life Niner, we appreciate the super chat contribution, brother. Thank you so much. The Ohio State. Here we go.
Oh, there they go.
There they go.
Get it right.
There they go.
Ohio State. This is my man, Collie Young, man. He's smooth cool. He's a golden domer. He loves
and Collie also makes a great point, right? So their offensive line is banged up as well, which for me, Cleveland has the number 1 ranked defense in the NFL. So if you're worried about anything, you're worried about Myles Garrett. Like that, like I feel like if Myles Garrett, if you make him a non-factor, then nothing else on the defense matters. Now, they got good players on their defense. They're all former first-round picks. Let's just keep it a buck.
They
right?
loaded.
They loaded, right? So let me ask you this question. How will the 49ers attack the Browns?
I would like to go with the RATS system employed by the Arizona Cardinals a little bit. Run at the stud. RATS, RATS. Run at the stud. Nullify his speed. Nullify his backside speed and just let's run right at him and establish this running game and bludgeon them. They got a couple of playmakers I've just been crazy about. I wanted Denzel, the Truth, Ward coming out. I wanted Grant Delpit. They're probably their best. That's besides Myles Garrett. Their secondary just has a couple of playmakers there. They haven't gotten a lot of interceptions this year.
No,
but something tells me they're due. They're due. So
we haven't thrown any either.
Yeah.
So they won't be due against us. But here's the thing, and I like that you brought them up, but that's why I said it starts with neutralizing the Garrett.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you neutralize the Garrett, that means their pass coverage won't be great. Because we're going to probably throw this team all day, which will eliminate the mistakes. Now the Niners are going to have to catch the ball because if they have a great pass rush. Like I'm not taking away from their pass rush, right? But if the Niners, let's say that they stack 8 in the box, we're not going to run the ball all the time with 8 people in the box. They have a great 8 in the box, not a weak 8 in the box, right? And yeah, I'm with it. Run at Garrett, right? But he's a little different than running at Parsons. He's a little different than running at TJ Watt. Just a little different. He's a lot stronger, a lot bigger, covers more space, longer body, can make the shoestring tackle. But I'm still running at his ass. Like I'm still gonna run onto that side. You know why I'm running to that side? Because Trent Williams is on that side.
Is on that side. Yeah,
there you go.
I want good on good. Let's just let
best on best
the game within the game, and let's see Trent decimate, destroy, and dismantle Myles Garrett. I take Trent in this matchup. I really do. And in terms of sacks, Myles Garrett, I think he is leading the league.
He has 5. Okay, I thought he had 6. Okay.
Yeah, I had 5 and a half. You get that half sack, got to touch him.
Yeah,
before you get it.
That's why I thought. That's why I thought he had 6 because PFF doesn't grade half sacks.
Okay. They bumped him up.
It's if you get there, you get there. So if 2 people get there, they get a sack. They get a full sack. All right. So Mason. It's not even just about Mason. It's the run game in general. That's gonna pound the ball. If you go back and watch, there was one play. Oh my gosh. I don't think I've seen it from Kyle Shanahan under Brock Purdy, and I know you're gonna know what play I'm talking about. It was the quarterback read option. And we ran it against the Cowboys. It got blown up, though. Christian McCaffrey got tackled for a loss. Brock could have kept that ball, took the freak off. My point is, I wouldn't be surprised if we did that again. You get what I'm saying?
Let's run it at. If we do run it at.
Well, if you remember that game, if you remember that play, I can't remember who was in on the tackle, but the end came crashing from his blind side. So like they just got to CMC. It was like he held onto the ball, but like if he would have just pulled it back in and rolled out, he only would have had to beat one man. I'm talking about Brock Purdy.
Yeah, who was the one man? Was it the
it would have had to. It would have had to. I have to go back and watch the all 22. When I do my defensive field breakdown, I'll know. I just remember seeing it live and then in a replay, and I'm like, oh man, that was the first time I saw a quarterback read option with Brock Purdy. It's the first time I seen it.
Yeah. I don't remember even seeing it, man. If you can, bookmark it, send it me out.
Okay,
I'll check that out as well.
Yeah,
I don't remember seeing it. I remember they did a little reverse flea flicker action for.
Now that was there. It was a play where it was the it was a play where he handed the ball off like not like a regular handoff. So he dropped back. He
rode
held
him.
on to the ball. He was reading the end,
Okay.
and as he was letting it go, Christian McCaffrey took it crack, tackle for a loss.
Oh man.
So it was just one of those where McCaffrey would have took the fake tackle, and then possibly Brock could have took it out and rolled out and beat the edge. Like it would have been just him and the edge. But I'll go back and rewatch it because I don't want to say anything. You know, people take what I say, they be like, "That ain't it." But you know, which I don't care if it's the people here.
That
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, but no, that's what I saw. So I'm just like, all right, cool. That would be actually that might. My point is, if that is what I saw, oh snap, Kyle is going to implement the quarterback. It's another layer.
He's getting in the bag, man. He's really in the bag. You know what I really seen when he was in the bag? It was week. It was not the Cowboy game. The game before, he had a press conference talking about that cheat motion that Mike McDaniels is running.
Yes,
And he said, yeah, that's cheat motion. Yeah, I know Mike, man. Mike shouldn't be doing that. And then
but
the
we
next
do
game,
it.
I saw him break it out.
I saw Debo Samuel do it a few times.
Yeah, that cheat motion.
But I feel like Debo may have been doing it. Period. Like it's something that's been in our system.
I hadn't seen it.
I've watched.
He broke it out.
Go back when Mike McDaniel was here and watch when the receiver would go into motion, they automatically turn up. And it's never called, like it's not a flag, it's not anything. It's just a cheap motion. So I'm curious to know if it was perfected in Miami due to their speed and skill sets. But I just feel like it was always here. We used it. No one else did it. And so we never talked about it. But now you're seeing it in Miami.
It had to come from somewhere. It had to come from them. They, somebody's using it.
But McDaniel was here.
I mainly see it with the number, like he's a number 2 receiver, closest to the formation, and then he shoots out. He shoots outward, and that puts a stressor
on the defense,
DB, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Because we sitting there, if you playing deep safety and I'm playing the corner, and I was like, all right, I got number 1. You like, all right, you got number 1, and then number 2 shoots past him. Now he instantly becomes number 1, and you turn around and look at him like, I thought you said you had number 1. No, I got number 2. Well, he went over there. Well, it's a touchdown, man. What you want to? And that's when you get the Jesus hands. When they look at each other. I thought you had it. Man, let's go to sideline and talk about it, man.
So look, there are going to be many ways that the 49ers are going to be able to attack. And I'll break this more down when I do my keys to victory. It'll be in the article. I'll do a video on it. But, I always give 5 ways the 49ers could come out victorious. But I like what you had to say. I thought that was pretty spot on, very important. Now let's talk about this. Brock Purdy is playing MVP football. His name is in the week 6 odds. We'll pull that up.
Wow.
All right. And so he's number 3, according to this report, Caesar Sportsbooks, as you can see out there. And look, this, you're looking at Mahomes, number 1, Tua Tagovailoa. I hope I said that right.
Oh, that nice.
I'm getting better. And then Brock Purdy, number 3, or tied for 3 with Josh Allen, however you want to look at it. But since he was put first, he 3, Allen 4. And then Jalen Hurts, 5. So the top 5 MVP vote getters are quarterbacks. And so, Brock Purdy, like let's make a case why Brock Purdy should be on this list. And so this is why you're here, Tyradom. You're going to be here every second Wednesday of the month. And it just so happened we're talking about Brock Purdy on today, right?
Yes.
And so let's make this case. Why should he be MVP, after week 5? When I say that, I mean leading candidate. Like, why is it Patrick Mahomes? Why is Tua higher? Like, why?
Well, Tua had just an incredible game against Who did they put? Was that Denver? When they put up them 70 points, man, that's 70. As my Uncle Tyrone would say, man, we don't put up 70, man. I ain't he likes the Dolphins. He said, man, we don't put up 70. And Mahomes is Mahomes. Mahomes gonna be that guy. He had to do it one time without Kelsey, who was injured, and that was shortly before the Swiftie invasion. But they're established, good, productive, wonderful quarterbacks. Pat Mahomes is who everybody loves and is, that. But as far as just productive, go ahead.
But is Patrick Mahomes playing MVP caliber football? I mean, team just seems to be getting by. It's not like they're playing super tough teams. They lost their home opener. They've won ever since.
He's Patrick Mahomes, man. And,
okay.
And I don't like it. He's been the bane of my existence since February of 2019 with 7 minutes and 40 seconds left in a city called Miami. And it's just, every time I see a commercial, I'm like, somebody, he ain't Patrick Mahomes. He ain't Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes this. And it's, if 7-Eleven had a Slurpee called the Patrick Mahomes, it'd probably sell out in a day's time.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to acknowledge he is the establishment. He's pretty much the face of the league, and he's going to get that nod. But if you go just purely standpoint, let's look at it as a non-pejorative expose on production. Man, Brock Purdy he's the connect. He is the distributor of the most talented roster I have seen since probably the greatest show on turf on offense, with just lethal playmakers everywhere. And he gets it to them to a point where nobody's mad. Nobody feels frozen out. Everybody has bought into him. He's efficient. He doesn't turn it over. He's pinpoint. He's accurate. And I'll say this about accuracy. And this is another, y'all can take this little nugget with you. I've been playing golf, man, since 1993. Michael Jordan got me on golf. I seen him golfing the week of the finals when they was playing Charles Barkley way back in the day. And what I have learned is golf is a game of misses. You're not going to hit perfect shots every time. But what separates a PGA professional from a weekend duffer is the PGA professional will miss by about 3 feet on his approach. He might miss by about, he wanted to put that on the landing up top and have it roll back. But a duffer will miss by 20 yards, or he'll miss by, 15 or 20 feet, and he's got a 2-putt. I say that because Brock's misses are close. When another quarterback will miss, it will go so far over their head, everybody will turn around and say, what the hell was that? But when Brock misses, he misses Ayuk between the 1 and the 1. He probably put it on his shoulder. And they say, oh, man, Ayuk had to turn around for that one. That's a miss. That is the level of accuracy this kid has. There's a story about Joe Montana about to run a deep out to Dwight Clark. And he tells Dwight Clark, man, yeah, you got to turn it. You got to bend it, man, about 15 yards, head to the pylon. And Dwight Clark said, I'll be there. And Joe said, do you want it on the 8 or the 7? That's when you know you got a man. That's accuracy. That's putting it where it needs to be. 12 inches in front of the numbers. And this is where this kid lives. That's why accuracy is so important. Your misses are like, that could have been an interception, but it got in there and hit him in the hands.
I guess I'm wondering what they like how do voters vote? I know these are sports books, these are bettings, and the reason why I chose this list is because ESPN is using this list. I mean, there's a poll out there where Brock Purdy is actually number one. Right, like he's number one on. So like it comes down to preference, but I wanted to go with something that was used predominantly by one of the the major conglomerates out there and in ESPN. So we chose this, and I feel like this is probably more accurate to where things just look after week 5 in the NFL. Because there was one game Josh Allen didn't look good. I'm sure there's going to be one game Brock Purdy doesn't look good. There was a game where Tua didn't look good, and now that he's lost his left tackle and stuff like that, it might get a little worse. And so, Niners got 2 people on this list too. By the way, I just want to know Christian McCaffrey is there.
Another thing too, it kind of. I'm sorry for interrupting. It kind of splits your vote a little bit too.
It does because you have
that one guy. You got 2 right there in the top.
That's a great
6.
point.
Yeah,
it's a great point. That's a great point. But let's talk about some of his accolades before we dip up out of here, right? I got a couple of questions I want to answer, but let's talk about this kid, and just start with the first. I mean, and if I'm asking this question, like.
Scott Broyle said Jimmy's misses get people's legs broken.
Man, we can't do a show. I tell you what. But when you look at Brock Purdy, Terradome, and let's just go off of the stats because that's what votes predominantly are going off. They're not just going off the it factor or whatever. But I mean, the kid is a winner.
Yeah.
And
a catalyst to the win, not just winning.
Not there to win.
Sake.
Right. He's a part of the winning.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
He's enabling it
to that winning.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. And I think to me that that's where it should start. Okay. Right, like it starts at saying like, all right, man. And I know wins and loses aren't everything, and I know I get why Patrick Mahomes is it until he's not. Just like the Eagles are the NFC dominant team until we beat them.
Until you knock them out. Yeah.
Until you knock them out. That's the way I grew up, and that's the way I'm probably always going to be, no matter how great or dominant we look. Until we beat that team,
you beat that one. The reigning NFC conference champion.
Bingo.
You are that.
Bingo.
You're the number 1 contender. It's like boxing in Vegas. You have to knock out the champion to get the decision.
That's it. It. Big Dad says again, Brock pre-snap is elite. Second is his feet. Right. It's the key to what you were talking about, his accuracy. It's the key to his accuracy.
Yes, sir.
It very much so is, Big Dad. It's good to see you too, bro.
Big Dez, my man.
And it is the key to his accuracy. But when I go, I'm gonna run down. I mean, the dude, highest passer rating in the NFL for Week 5, 144.4. It's a bunch of 4s in there with a 1 in front of him.
Yes, sir.
Against a top elite defense in the league.
Yeah.
I would probably say Dallas had the number 1 scoring defense going into that game.
Definitely.
And
that's how they won a couple of games.
2 of them. 2 of the 2 of the 5.
In defense, definitely. Yes, sir.
100%. Highest single game completion percentage, that 95.2.
Good Lord, man.
Beating out Steve Young's record. Happy birthday, too, by the way, to Steve Young.
Steve Young.
Yeah, man. Happy birthday, man.
He's an
Happy
October
birthday.
Baby. My wife's will be soon. She's 2 days before the immortal Jerry Rice on October 13th.
Another October baby, huh?
Yeah, them October people, man. They got it going on.
I just, completion percentage, he's number 2 on the list, 72.1%. He has more passing yards than Jalen Hurts at 1,271. And remember, at the beginning of the season, we did some type of exercise, and I think it was with myself and Mike, and we just didn't feel like Brock. And I think I said Brock would throw a lot of yards this year, but I felt like he made me change my answer. Anyway, he's on pace.
Courage of your convictions.
Well,
Stick
he
to
started
it.
breaking down paces and crap, and I'm like, dude, Brock can throw for 4,000 yards this year
What
with
Mike
or
said.
without Yak. Right.
Mike's still on Witherspoon, man. Don't mess with Mike.
Don't talk about Witherspoon because I think he ended up having an interception in this.
he got a pick. He got a
Yeah,
pick.
and in the end zone on top of that. But here's the kicker, right? 8 straight games with 30 plus points.
Yeah.
And it started with the Commanders at home, 37.
Mm-hmm.
In the tough battle in Vegas against the Raiders, 37.
Had to come back on that one. Yep.
At home, Cardinals, 38. And then you're getting into this year, the 5 games, 30, 30, 30, 35, 42. That sounds like somebody measurements.
Yes.
30,
sir.
35, 42. Let me. I'm just saying, like, now, those numbers for me, 8 straight games getting 30 plus points on an offense where we struggled to get 30 points at one point.
Man, we was lucky to get. You went to Denver. I ain't gonna talk about that pick 8. You know what I'm saying? If
I'm
we'd
just
have
saying
Brock
we
in there earlier. We
Possibly.
have home field. We have home field throughout,
Yeah.
and we're not dealing with those Eagles in the vet or in the link or whatever they call it.
I know what you mean.
Insane asylum. I know, man.
It's
Yeah.
it's possible. Shout out to Oscar. Oscar says this is the predictions. 4,000 yards, 30 TDs, best record in the NFC, should be enough to get the MVP unless someone in AFC goes bananas.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Unless Lamar starts doing crazy Lamar stuff.
I mean, what if they finish Oscar with the best record in the NFL? Like that should definitely seal the deal by the end of the year. Brock is on that trajectory. Listen, it's going to be a tough race though, because look at the names, and football to me still really hasn't started yet. Right? Like I like we didn't get the weather elements added into the game, like the seasons, all that good stuff, right? But the
season starts Thanksgiving.
Yes.
That's when you really feel like it's being etched in stone, and we're really getting down to the nitty gritty. Shout out nitty gritty Niners.
Hey man, that's my crew.
Hey, that's when you get down to it. Right around Thanksgiving. That's when we're gonna really know. And if we win, we play Thanksgiving night. We play the Sea Chickens.
Yep.
You're gonna have all your questions answered, and you're gonna know really what it is. Injuries, will be set aside, cast aside, and dispersed, and you gonna know some things about who is for real, who was fake, so you can learn from our mistake. It was already written, done and said, so you can stay 2 steps. That's Houdini.
Mm-hmm.
The L,
mm-hmm.
the L.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're not up on that. They're not up on that. Listen, we did a poll. We did a poll. Shout out to everybody that participated in the poll question too, by the way. 142 votes. 142 votes. 85% of those votes went for Brock Purdy. 8% for Tua, 4% for Patrick Mahomes, 1% for Jalen Hurts. Now I'm curious. I know it's a homer show.
Heavy
Niners. But shout out to the ones that picked Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes, because there's history there. So shout out to those that didn't, respond as a homer. You know what I'm saying? Because that's super important. Super important. Listen, we got some super chat contributions we're going to get to real quick, and I'm going to put these out right now. Shout out to Peachy Brown. She says, welcome, Terra Dome. Everyone, smash that like button. Let's turn these browns into little brownies. We got this. Let's go for 6-0. Get 6. Faithful to the Bay. B. Yeah, you know what, though? I'm going to buy brownies, make brownies. Now I want brownies.
I wasn't thinking subliminals.
I wasn't even thinking of a brownie. Now I want brownies. So now I'm going to have to find a way to get some brownies for this week's game.
Get that
And then
mindset.
Sean comes in and says, "Happy birthday, Steve Young. We pray he finds the Christian God and leaves the Mormonism in the name of Jesus. Had a great time, man. If they stomp Browns, they might go undefeated. We got Brock isn't gonna drop off. Let's talk about the last parts where he says that if they stomp the Browns, they might go undefeated. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm with Jax Knox, man. I had the Browns circled. I thought we would have trouble because of the letdown. You know, this is preseason, of course. The letdown. I said we go 15-2. I was thinking it'd probably be the Browns because of their personnel, with Deshaun being a bit of a runner, and Nick Chubb was going to be there. Plus, they had a really stifling defense. So I thought that would kind of set up bad for us coming off an emotional Dallas night. But, you know, everything has changed a little bit. Nick Chubb, you know, prayers to him and a speedy recovery, man. He had a really horrific knee injury week 1 or 2, something like that. And, you know, Deshaun might not even play. And if he does, he's banged up. And now that this offensive line is just really coming into its own, man, I got to redirect. I'm leaning with Jax now, man. This can happen. This can happen. We're going to play the Eagles, and it will be after they face Buffalo and Kansas City the 2 weeks prior.
That is
to
true.
Us. So this thing ain't. Jack's been a prophetess.
I mean, you know, you looking at the way things are kind of like planning out. I mean, the Niners, they take care of the Browns, and then they're back on the road. Who we got after the Browns? I know they'd be on.
I know
back to back.
Bengals were coming.
That's at home. So the next 3 games, right? So it's Browns, blank, Bengals at home. Then we get a bye week, and then after the bye week, we head to Jacksonville. So
you're gonna be in Jacksonville?
I'll be in Jacksonville. So there is a possibility that this team will go 17-0, and it just seems like things are just falling into place.
Yeah.
Whoever we play, the Vikings, Monday Night Football. That's the day.
That's
right. No Justin Jefferson, who's just officially been placed on the IR.
No, for real. What happened with him?
Yeah, hamstring, and they feel like it's even worse than the regular hamstring, but they put him on IR. Now, what they're going to do for him is he's going to miss the next 4 weeks, so he won't play against us. Kirk Cousins won't have his best weapon out there on the football field. Now, I had us losing to the Vikings like you had us losing to the Browns, but the way the story is panning out is they might be undefeated at that bye week at 8-0.
Yeah,
which means. So. And you look at Jacksonville, Jacksonville only play good in England. It's the only way that they go watch the games. They only play good in England.
They were a playoff team last year.
They only play good in England. Their defense is good, offense is suspect. I know I got Trevor Lawrence in fantasy football. He only had 1 good week. It was last week in England. I'm just saying.
You got firsthand knowledge.
I got knowledge that he's terrible. Out there. And if it wasn't for Travis Etienne, who they finally started to continue to go with, they wouldn't have been able to pick that up. But no, seriously, I mean, they beat the Bills. I know they beat the Bills, but look, the Niners really are setting their own trajectory toward whatever type of season. In my opinion, the Niners run their ship. Yeah. Like they're running it. They got the captains steering it. You know, you have one captain on the ship and different people doing different jobs. And I just feel like the Niners are doing a great job at, I don't want to say micromanaging. I don't like to use that term, but playing their roles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's selfless ball, man.
Selfless ball.
They get around in a huddle on Tuesday you implement the game plan. And they might say, all right, hey, George, it's your week this week. You're gonna cook, man. We gonna get it to you. We're gonna get it to you. Or the next week they'll be like, you know something? Hey, Brandon, It's your week, man. We going with you. It's gonna be heavy branding this week. 1 week, you know, it's gonna go. Hey, Debo, let's show him why you Debo. And then next week, hey, Juice, hey, that Spider 2 Wide Banana's always open, buddy. I'm coming at you. Hey, CMC, how you feeling today, man? How you feeling this week? Yeah, let's cook them. Let's cook them. Hey, CMC, you know what? Take the day off. Jordan, come on in, Jordan. We're going to get a ball to you, Jordan Mason. It's a plethora of riches, and we got some depth with it. That DJ Romeo up in Santa Clara, man, I love his drops when like Fred Warner makes something, he plays little Warner Brothers music. When Ronnie Bell makes a play, if DJ Romeo is listening, please play some Bell Biv DeVoe. When Ronnie Bell,
they did play Poison.
They did. It was like before the game.
Right. Right. I did hear it out there because I was, girl, anyway, I was ready to get it on. Cocoa Puff. We will have a mini buy. Thank you for the contribution. Before we play with Eagles.
That is correct. We'll be coming off of a Thursday night
game.
And they're going to be a little bumped up and bruised because they got to go to Buffalo.
Great point. I forgot about that.
Yeah. That's why I figured this Eagles one. The only thing, about the Eagles fan, the Eagles will be the fans, and they bastard children. I don't know.
They just
I
terrible.
Like those. They are horrible.
But they know that they are. That's the funny part. So
and they like it.
And they like it. So even that we're talking about their fans, like they know. Like, you know what I mean? Listen, Terra Dome, let everybody know what you got going on for the rest of the week. I'm glad you can be with me every second Tuesday of the month. Wednesday, excuse me. I think that's going to be a blessing. And I had a great time. So let everybody know where they can find you.
Terra Dome, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. Just adjust your AM dial. All about family, faith, football, the 49ers, films. We drop a whole bunch of stuff. My family dropped in. I seen Ellison Burley drop by. That's my cousin, man. Me and him are bootleg GMs. We can really prognosticate together, man. He's a incredible mind. You would just love Ellison Burley, man. Ellison has idea. Ellison told me, he said, Junior, y'all gonna go. That's what he said. Junior, y'all going to Super Bowl. Y'all should win. This was back in 2019. He said, but if you don't, would you entertain bringing Tom Brady to San Francisco? I said, Ellison, man, I would meet Tom at that daggone airport if we don't win this Super Bowl, man. I got to have the GOAT. I'm getting that jersey.
I think you and I are the only two 49er faithful that like Tom Brady. Like, we're the only two people.
Well,
hands down. But we'll be the only two with Tom Brady jerseys if he ever chose to wear red and gold.
Boy, because we true players for real. As for real.
For real.
And shout out to Usher.
Shout out to Pharrell.
Shout out to Pharrell. True players, man. And the rest are player haters. So, it's all right. Come with the territory.
I love it, man. Listen, make sure you guys check him out. I will make sure the link of his show is in the description of the show. So if you go back and read all the words that I type up every week and put in there, the description will be in there. So you can go and subscribe to his channel, all right? Make sure you guys do that if you're watching here on the Wayne Breezie channel. A couple of questions. Corey says, why is Kittle about to get fined? I got two words. It's F Dallas.
And Breezie had on that shirt.
I sure did. I custom made mine because I wanted people to know that I was representing red and gold throughout that week. But yeah, like that's, why? Like, it's something about, I didn't understand it in the 80s. But I'm telling you, there was only one team that made me cry in the 90s. Okay. And if you hurt my feelings, if you hurt my spirit, if you hurt me the way Dallas hurt me, it's always going to be that.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because you know the rivalry is that strong. It goes back to the 70s.
It goes way back, man. Yeah.
So so that's why Corey, he's gonna get fined. There's a lot of stuff that has stimulated from that. You got Micah Parsons clapping back at that, and then you got listen, I'm scared of Debo, bro. Like the way he's responded makes me feel like that's probably one person I wouldn't mess with. Like his response on Hey K Adams was just like, he didn't smile. I could tell he took the response from Micah personal, and he said, "Yo, it's always been personal. It was personal before the game started. Like, what are you talking about?" And so, like, maybe Micah just too young. He don't understand what a rivalry is. But he should, because he went to Penn State. And Penn State, the whole Big Ten is a damn rivalry. Michigan State, the Ohio State. Like, them your rivals.
Micah, man. Who I absolutely do. I think
I love him.
He's a great guy. But I understood what he said. You know, even though you just lost 42-10, you know, we still on par with Dallas. I mean, with San Francisco. You know, we just I understood as a man, as a competitor, as a player, as a leader of your team, you have to say those things, and you better believe them, because the antithesis of it, or the flip side is, man, we can't beat them, man. It's over. And I can't be around a man that says that. You're leaving my team. Don't you ever say in your mouth. Don't you fix your mouth to say, man, they just better. We garbage, yo.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I didn't hear of him getting a fine, but she asked the question. So my only concern, my only response to her question, to the question, would have been from wearing that particular type of shirt. Yeah. But if you're saying he paid to do that, cool beans. Probably cost him about 10-15 grand, which, man,
he got it.
To rock a tee
in this ashtray.
Yeah, like it's just chilling. I don't even think they put ashtray in cars anymore.
If they do, they put the
Wi-Fi thing. Yeah. Look,
dig up under in your hands, man. I wear a double X. I can't. Can you help me? Can you
can't get into the ashtray to get it working right. But for Life Niner, thank you so much. And listen, guys, on the channel today, we got one more super chat contribution that I definitely wanted to highlight from Sean. He says, all Brady's success came from butt check. LMAO. I gotta challenge this one because butt check hasn't won anything since Brady left. Not even a division.
And Brady went to a whole nother conference, a whole nother team, a whole nother city, and won it all. So the social experiment is, what's that show, Mythbusters?
Yes.
We're going to rule that a myth.
It's just, Brady won a Super Bowl. First year, first time, and just like that. Like, yeah. So, Sean, I'm sorry. Usually we could touch and agree, but on that one,
And to a man, every player that has ever played with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And it's some zany ones, it's some crazy ones, it's everything in between. They will tell you to a man, find me an interview of a player that played with Tom Brady, a teammate, who comes and say, that's not the man, that's the best teammate ever. We was winning because of Tom. And it was people like Shady McCoy, Asante Samuel Sr., Debo, the original Debo, Harrison. James Harrison played. James Harrison said, I went there, man. I ain't want to like that little punk, man. He done took a couple Super Bowls from me, man. You know how he is.
He couldn't stand Tom Brady.
He said, man, F Tom Brady. Man, he said, man, when I got there, man, he just came. He said, hey, man, I'm Tom Brady, man. We glad you here, man. And he said, I watched him, man. I watched him. He said, dude was the same the whole time, man, preparing like nobody else, locked in, there for you, gave you his number, gave you his keys, gave you whatever you looking for. If you said, hey, I'm having something, man, pull up. He said, man, Tom, hey, man, I came to your thing, man. Hey, what's going on? He just is what he is. It's too good to be true. You ain't supposed to be. And I listen to everybody, every interview, everybody, and nobody ever says anything but that number 12 was the business.
He was. And you know who else is the business? Number 13.
Yes,
Brock
sir.
Purdy is looking like a young Dan Marino out there. A lot of comparisons to to the Drew Breezes and the Joe Montanas, and ladies and gentlemen, Steve Young. And in a few years, he will be Brock Purdy, and people will be comparing them to him. Like, that's crazy. He gets the Super Bowl. Brock will go from, oh my gosh. Wow. Well, listen, I'm glad he's here. I'm glad you were here. I'm glad everybody out there joined the show and stuck around for long, man. This is an hour show. Y'all rocked out for 90 minutes plus. Guys, don't forget to check out No Harm, No Foul, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the one and only Mike Andrews from Nothing But Niners. And then at 7 p.m., Crystal Peachy B will be here with myself. We're going to be doing What's Your Fantasy, where we're going to be talking about fantasy football, the best and the worst of each and every week, and who you're going to want to pick up on your waiver wires this week, because there's a quarterback that you're going to want to go out and grab right now if you didn't already do so. But we'll talk about that tonight. Terradome, man, listen, I want you to take us out, man.
God bless everybody. My normal go out is we walk by faith and not by sight. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I be sipping gold bar, whiskey on the rocks, and a 24 karat gold on a watch. My 7-1 Chevy be tipping nonstop, sounding like Trent Williams on the block. So you know we can't stop, we be banging through your speakers. Wayne Breezie on the field or in the bleachers. You can tune into my show and I'm a teacher. Wayne Breezie, the 4-9 preacher.